Okay, so we're going to finish off here by putting in our elevation. Okay, our elevation is going to go up here, so when we're looking in here we'll see the elevation. If you notice in plan, this edge here, so it's that edge over here, is actually touching the end vertical plane, so it's going to be touching over here. Okay, so to start off this, we can see the hidden detail of the bottom part of the pillar. So this bottom part of the pillar here in hidden detail. We can see the distance from here to here is where the pillar starts. Okay, and the distance then from the end vertical plane into this edge, or this edge because they're in line with each other, will give us the distance from here to here. Okay, so we're going to take that, we're going to draw our elevation. Once we have our planned elevation, we're going to complete it by getting our point in two views to find it in the third view to complete our isometric. Okay, so all you need is your compass at the minute and a pencil. So take out your compass. We know that from the edge of the pillar. Okay, so from the distance. So I'll use. Okay. So this, if you can imagine, this is the edge view of the end vertical plane here. So this is actually touching. So the distance from here to here is that distance there. Okay, so we're going to take that distance here, and we're going to step it off from the end vertical plane in elevation. So there's the start of that. So from the edge all the way across, then we can find the distance to this edge here. Okay, so that distance there is the distance from the end vertical plane all the way across to this corner here. Okay, so we're taking that distance and we're going to step it off. Okay, so that's the width of our pillar. So what we're going to do there is, using our sliding set squares, make sure our lines are parallel to the end vertical plane. Bring it up lightly. Okay, on both sides, bring it up lightly. Okay, and we can see here, it's going to be 80 mil high. So we measure up 80. Mark it here. And that's going to be parallel to their horizontal plane. So the pink line. So that's the outside now of the pillar. So that's the outside rectangle for the pillar. So we can heavy in all the outside lines. There. Now we need to find these two edge pieces here. So if we look in, we can see from that distance from here to here would be the same as that distance from here to here. So from the edge to that. So we can take it from our end vertical plane again, using our compass, take our distance. From there to there. And we can step it off here. From the end vertical plane to there. And then from our end vertical plane again, we can take that distance from there to there. And step it off. Once we have them two lines, we know that's going to be that line there and that line there. So it's the edge here and the edge here in plan. We're going to heavy them in. There, they have to be parallel to the edge. This is parallel to the edge as well. Okay, so just about done there now. Okay, so all we're missing now is the top piece here. So we know the top piece is going to be touching the end vertical plane, so we know it's going to come across that distance. So we can continue this lightly up. We know it's going to come across, so it touches that. Okay, so that distance there, if it's sticking out that distance here, it's the equal distance on the other side, so it's the same over here. So I'm just slightly going to go off the page, I think. So that distance here, from here to here, we're going to step that off on the opposite side. bring it across, and it touches that. Okay, so once we have that, we know them edges are going to be parallel to the blue line or our end vertical plane. Okay, so all lines are parallel. Bring it up lightly. We can see our distance here, it's going to be 15 mil, so we can step off to 15 mil. There, so we know it's going to stop there. So we can bring that line across, parallel. So sliding set squares, if you're not used to them, this will give you a good chance to use them to hone the skill. And that's going to go straight across there. And heavy that in there. So if you go off the page like I did, just stick a sheet under it if you want. Okay, so we know now it's going to be 30 mil to the apex. We know the apex is dead center. So if I bisect any of these lines, I'll be able to find it. Or I can just take my distance, again, from my plan, from the end vertical plane to the center. Vertical plane to the center. Bring that line up parallel. Okay, we know it's going to be 30. 1 to 30 there. Our apex is there somewhere. We know the apex then goes all the way back to the two edges. So you can just join them two back. So they're staying, so you can heavy them in. This one is staying as well. So we can heavy them two in. So next thing we need to do then is find these two lines, this line here and this line here. So the first thing we need to do is locate them in plan. Take our distance again. So this is why the plan is so important and the positioning of the plane is so important. We can take our distances then from our end vertical plane. So end vertical plane here, and step it off. So from that distance, sorry, I'll turn around so you can see it. So my end vertical plane to there. So my end vertical plane here, and step it out. So if I step that across there, that's where that's going to be. If it's that distance from that edge it's touching, it's going to be the same distance on the other side, so I can step it in from the other side as well. And then I can join them two lines back, and that's my elevation fully complete. My elevation fully complete. Okay, oh sorry, apart from these two lines. So I have to put down these two lines here, make sure they're parallel. Can heavy them two in, and heavy them two in. So now the elevation is complete. Okay, so that's the elevation. What we need to do now is get our points in two views to locate them in the third view. Okay, so this is where it starts getting messy, so I would recommend that you label everything. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to start labeling everything here. So when I look down on this in plan, I'm going to say I see that's number 1, that's number 2, that's number 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there's them in there, in them corners. So if I'm looking in here, I will see 2, 1, in behind 2 there'll be 6. So I see 3 at the front, in behind 3 there's 5, and then 4 here. Okay, so we have located our points here on the ground, the points here on the ground. So the next thing is locate them. We have them in two views, we need to find them in the third view. So the first thing we need to do is, any line we projected out was parallel to that green line there, the plane there. So what we're going to do is get it parallel using our sliding set squares again, or your adjustable set squares, whatever you find easier. I'm just going to do one at a time to show you. If you bring 4 across here, okay, I bring 5 and 3 across, I bring 2 and 6 across, and I'm going to bring 1 across then as well. So bring that across there. Okay, so I know 1 is on that line, 2 and 6 are on that line, 3 and 5. Okay, the more you do, the less labelling you're going to have to do. So I'm just going to stick with 1 at the minute then. So if 1 comes across here, sorry, then we're going to bring up 1, so we know it's vertical, so I can use my So that's square and t square again. It's vertical. So I bring one up. So one comes down and one comes up. Find point in two views where they intersect, then we'll locate it in the third view. So that's point 1. Okay, so we have point 2 and 6. So I'll bring up 2 lightly. So I don't have to draw in all the line now. I can just bring it up to where it overlaps or intersects. Point 2, so that's going to be number 2. Then I have number 6. So instead of bringing the line up again, I'm just going to mark where it crosses the line. This will keep your drawing slightly neater, and it will get neater and neater as we go on. So 3 up where it crosses there, put in number 3. 4 up 4 where it crosses there, we put 4. 5 up there, so where that crosses 5, which is here, is going to be 5. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly draw that in because I'm not going to see all of it. Some of it's going to be hidden detail, so just to show you the shape though, I'm going to lightly draw it in. So in plan, 2 goes to 3, in elevation 3 goes to 4, so whatever it does in other views, it will do in every view. Now you can see that hexagon in 3D if where the base is touching the ground. I think everyone's okay with that, hopefully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to label them up in elevation here because it's in plan here. I'm just going to say that this is 1. I'm just going to make it green. So that's number 1. Also, that's we call that 1A. So we call it 1A, 6A, 5A. Okay, if you don't need to label it, don't label it. If you think you're okay doing it. Just for those that are struggling, I would be definitely labeling. So that's 4A, that's 3A, 5A, 2A, 6A, and 1A. Okay, you can use whatever labeling system you want. I'm just trying to do this to make it easier for you to understand and follow. So then, every line then has to be parallel again. So we can bring across 1A. So that's 1A, lightly across. And then we bring across 2A. Okay, so you can do one at a time or you can bring them all in one go when you have it set up. That's 5 and 3 and 5A, and there's 4A. Okay. So we have all them lines across. So again, we just locate them in 2 views to find in third view. So there's 1A, so I'm going to bring that up to where it crosses 1A here. That'll give me 1 point. There, that's 1A. 6A then, so 6A comes across here and it intersects here, so that's 6A. 5A. Okay, so 5A is there. Crosses 5 here. You notice they're in line with the other ones at the bottom because all parallel lines stay parallel in every view. So 5A, there's 2 from here, so there's 2A. Okay. 3A, 3 across, that's 3A there. 4, bring 4 up, 4 across, and that's 4A. Okay, so what I can do here now is I'm going to lightly join them together because I'm not going to see them all either. But just to show you the shape of the hexagon again. 6 goes to 5, 5 goes to 4, 4 goes to 3. Okay, so I was just slightly inaccurate there, so if you're inaccurate, make sure when you're tidying it up that they're all sitting perfectly. So that should be slightly higher, yeah. Okay, so that's my hidden detail will be there. Okay, so in our pillar, in 3D, we know we're going to see 2. We're going to see 1, so we can heavy that. Or we can put in our line, sorry, we'll put them lightly first because our roof part is not in yet and it could hinder some of our view, so some of it could be hidden detail. Okay, or else we just won't see the edges. Okay, so that's our pillar, the bottom half of our pillar. So now we need to do is just put the top, our roof or our capping, sitting on top of the pillar. Okay, So the next thing we're going to do is we'll call the apex. So we'll find the apex first. That's 0 there. That's 0 here. We're going to bring 0 across and up. So you know what to do by now. Locate it in 2 views to get it into 3rd view. Make sure they're all parallel. If anything is slips and it's not parallel, just fix it or your drawing will not look correct. So that's 0 there. 0, where across this is 0. So that's our apex there. So our apex is 0. Now, so we need to find all our other points. So it's up to you if you want to keep labeling. Label. If you don't want to label, don't label. It's totally up to you. I would recommend to label so you can follow points, or just take 1 point at a time if you're not labeling. Okay, so we have this edge here. So I'm going to start with that edge. I'm just going to say that's X and that's Y just for now. Just going to label this one so we can see it. So the edge here, underneath here, is going to be X and Y. So we bring X and Y up. Here's the 60/30 set squares longer. So X and Y up. We'll bring it up lightly. I'm just going to write X and Y on this one to show you how to find it. That's X and Y. Bring it back again. Okay, and it's the same for every point. That's all we need to do for every point. That's going to be. And that's point Y. And that's point X. X and Y. We know we're going to see that. It's going to be a solid edge. So there's a solid edge there. Okay, we can see that that line will go back to the apex, so we can put that in now as well if you wanted to. Okay, so then we'll find the next one. So I'm just going to call it P and Q. So these are just random ones I'm picking. P and Q, so bring up it. Okay, so all your lines are going to get, it's going to get very complicated very quick if you're not labeling everything. So I'm going to just say that's P and Q, we're going to be on that line. Get a parallel then, again, and put Q across. So P and Q, so there's Q, and there's P. And that's going to be P. So P and Q. So we know P and Q are solid edge here. So P and X go together. We can join them back together. Q and Y go together as well. So we can join them back together as well. And that's going to be an edge. We know then P goes back to the apex. We can join P back to the apex. Okay, so we need to do that for the rest of it. So I'm just going to keep flying through it to get it done. So R and W are there, R and W there, and there. So bring it up. Okay, lightly, R and W. Then we know R and W parallel to that. W. And there's R. Okay. We're going to see that edge, so we can heavy it in. So R goes to P. And then we know R goes all the way back up to the apex. Okay, so we're nearly finished. Okay, so we're missing this corner at the back. And so we'll call this corner then G and H. So we're going to say the corner behind this, so there'll be a corner right behind this, it's going to be G and H. And because they're in line with each other, we can bring down that points again. So there's H is on that line there, and G is on that line there. Okay, so we can bring up G and H again. Now it's vertical. There's G and there's H. So we can mark that. And that's G and that's H. So we know that X will go to G, Y will go to H. You're going to see that edge, which will also be vertical and parallel. So you can see all parallel lines are parallel in every view. This is a good question to prove that. And then this apex will go back to G. Okay, so there's no hidden detail. We don't need any hidden detail. The only bit we needed was the bit in plan. So that's the top of it at the minute. So I'll finish off the bottom and we're nearly there. So I'm going to heavy in what I can see. All the edges that I can see. So take your time, make sure you don't heavy in the lines too much. Or go heavy in any lines that you shouldn't. Okay, so we're missing one corner here at the back now. We're going to need to get that in. Okay, actually the two corners at the back we'll probably see, so we may bring them all in. So that's the front, the bottom pillar finished. The three front surfaces. So we have this surface here. So I'll just use this coloring pencil. Okay, sorry about the delay, I just want to shade it in. So, if you can imagine now, this one here is the green surface. Okay, that green surface there is that green surface here in plan. Okay, just anyone that's struggling to visualize it. Okay, I'm sure some people are, so I don't mind spending a bit of extra time here now. This surface here is the orange surface, we call it. That orange surface there is that orange surface here. Okay. And this pink surface then here is going to be that pink surface there. Okay, so we have three other surfaces that we haven't put up here in elevation. Okay, we haven't put them up in elevation yet, so we're going to put them in there now because we will see some of them. Won't see all of it, but we'll see some of it. Okay, so if we've looked in here, that'll be our elevation. That's going to be our pink surface there. Okay, so we're looking in there, so that's our pink surface here. Just for anyone that's struggling to visualize it. That's our pink surface. So our orange surface is right beside it. So that's our orange surface here, orange surface here, that's our orange surface here. So the surface that we're missing, I'm going to colour in blue. This blue surface now we need to put in. Okay, so we'll do that next. That's that blue surface here. Okay, so there's a good bit of work in this drawn, but if you can get this done, you should be having no problems. Okay, so I'm going to bring up that point there, which is these two corners here. Okay, so I'm not going to label this one, just for people who aren't labeling it. We've brought up that line here, along this line, just a little asterisk beside it. Make sure everything's parallel then. Okay, we get the bottom corner there, get the top corner there. Okay, we know that would be an edge, but we're not going to see it. So this edge here is going to be going to that edge there. Okay, so that's or from this to that edge there. That's the way you'd see it here. So that corner is going to go up to the apex. So that corner goes up to the apex, and it's going to be the blue surface. Okay, so I'm hoping this helps people with the colour coding. I'm hoping people aren't too confused on it. So we have the next corner here that we need to find. So we have to find this edge, all the edges all the way around. So we need to find one more edge. So it's this edge here. So we're going to bring that line up vertical. Okay. So we know it's going to be on that line somewhere. It's going to be on this line somewhere. So it's behind the edge or W. So there's or W. So it's in line with it. You can see that. So we'll bring that or W. The edge that would be behind that parallel. There's one. And then there's the second. Okay, so there's the edge there, but you won't see it because at the back we know that edge will touch there to there, and will also go like that. Okay, so hopefully now everyone can visualize that. So that edge, that was the blue one. So I just, this edge here is the green one. Just use the green marker really quickly. Green marker really quickly. And it was behind this edge so you won't see it. It's the edge that's directly behind the pink edge. So that's your drawing finished. I know it takes a while, but all the principles are covered in that. So hopefully use the 3 videos to help you get through it.